In 2013 in Portland, Oregon, I walked into Powell's Books on Burnside. I walked out with an old used book of French poetry by Arthur Rimbaud. When I got home, I noticed there was an inscription at the front which said, "Dear Katie, when you are ensconced by darkness, remember that you have the heart and soul of a poet, and at your innermost center is all of the light you will ever need." It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever read or interacted with, even though it wasn't intended for me. For years, I kind of kept it to myself. I didn't really know what to do with it. I thought maybe I'm just supposed to see this and understand that whatever it is that I'm looking for is already inside of me, sort of like Alan Watts's book, Become Who You Are. Whatever I'm searching for is searching for me, or it's already inside of me, and I just have to realize that and tap into it. Years later, I realized that this is something that I'm supposed to share with other people because it's a great message, and I think a lot of people could benefit from it. Just before COVID hit, I moved back to Michigan from Oregon. And the first year of COVID, the summer and fall, I took a couple of road trips out west. There were a couple of things that struck me on that drive. Many things, but two things in particular. First, the destruction of art spaces in those first few years of COVID was real. People didn't gather as much. There were timed entries for galleries, exhibitions. If they weren't canceled, they were very limited. So it seemed like everything was moving outdoors. And it started to give me ideas for my own works to try to move things outdoors myself. The other thing I noticed was the abundance of beautiful neon lights in Oregon and the Southwest and Los Angeles. I love neon. It's beautiful. It's like a dying craft. There must be only several hundred people that do neon nowadays in the country. So there's like a richness to it that I thought I could incorporate into these outdoor works because it can survive the elements. Somewhere on my drive back, I realized that I needed to do a word art piece based on the inscription I found in this book, but put it in neon lights and put it outdoors on brick. It took a few years to get funding, to get resources and people to support it, but eventually that happened, and it's up downtown here in Michigan, and people can still look at it. It's not intended to be a permanent fixture, but I feel like it's slowly becoming a permanent part or a permanent installation. Especially during COVID and post-COVID, this kind of message is really important for people to hear and think, because it makes me feel like I'm not not alone, but also that I am sane in a world that seems to be getting crazier. That all of the addictions that are being sort of spoon-fed to us, to our technology, to the material things, to the things we're chasing, to more money, to whatever it is, that all of those things are external to ourselves, and that the thing that we're actually seeking is seeking us or already inside of us, and we just kind of have to become aware of that. And in that sort of action, there's a sort of calmness or a beauty that takes over, and the tranquilness of realizing that whatever it is that people are trying to sell to us pales in comparison to what's inside of us.